Call me your daughter, human. I want you to be my father. Until the day he finally said yes. The night was quiet when Elias first found her. He had been scavenging near the wreckage of an abandoned shuttle that had fallen from the upper skies years ago, when he heard the soft sound of crying. He froze. In this part of the outer colonies, crying usually meant trouble. Raiders sometimes used it as bait. But this was different. Fragile, trembling, raw. Following the sound, Elias discovered a girl sitting against the charred hull of the shuttle. Her skin shimmered faintly beneath the moonlight, a soft hue of pale blue with faint silver markings that pulsed like veins of starlight. Her eyes, large, luminous, and violet, stared at him with the terror of someone who had lost everything. She couldn't have been more than 12. "Stay back," Elias said gently, raising a hand, though his other hand rested on the grip of his plasma pistol. She shook her head, clutching her knees. Her voice was hoarse when she spoke. "Please don't leave me. Call me your daughter, human. I want you to be my father." Elias's chest tightened. He wasn't anyone's father anymore. He had buried that life long ago, in a war that had taken his wife and child and left him wandering from outpost to outpost. He should have turned away. Yet something about the girl's words, the way she said them like a desperate prayer, rooted him to the spot. "What's your name?" he asked. She hesitated, then whispered, "Aelira." Elias brought her back to his cabin on the edge of the frontier town. It was a simple place. 2 rooms, a creaking roof, and shelves full of old tools. Aelira moved cautiously at first, but when he offered her food, she devoured it like she hadn't eaten in days. She said little, though her eyes followed him everywhere, as if making sure he wouldn't vanish. Days turned into weeks. Elias found himself teaching her simple things. How to light the stove, how to mend torn fabric, how to patch up the roof when the storms came. He never once called her daughter, but she would often whisper, "Good night, father," before curling up on the cot he had set for her. At first, Elias corrected her. "I'm not your father." But she never stopped. Each time, her voice grew softer, more insistent, as if she were weaving the word into the air until he couldn't ignore it. One evening, as they worked side by side repairing an old drone, Elias asked, "Where are your people, Aelira?" Her hands stilled on the tools. Her violet eyes dimmed. "Gone," she murmured. "Hunters took them. My mother, my brothers. Ran. I found the old shuttle. Then I found you." She said no more, and Elias didn't press. But that night when she whispered, "Good night, father," something inside him cracked. He lay awake long after she had fallen asleep, staring at the ceiling, haunted by the memory of his own daughter's voice, long lost to time. As months passed, Aelira grew stronger. She learned the ways of the settlement, though many looked at her with suspicion. Alien children were rare here, and many feared what they didn't understand. Elias stood by her each time, shielding her with a quiet, commanding presence that had once made him a respected soldier. Still, she always returned to him at the end of each day, clinging to his arm with the simple trust of a child who had chosen him. "Why do you keep calling me that?" he asked her one night as the fire crackled between them. She looked at him, unblinking. "Because if I don't, I will forget what it feels like to have a father. You remind me of him. The way you fix things. The way you protect me." She lowered her gaze. "You may not want me, but I have already chosen you." Elias said nothing, though his throat ached with unshed words. The turning point came one stormy night when raiders descended on the outskirts of the settlement. Fires lit the sky. Shouts echoed through the streets. Elias fought with the others, his old instincts returning with brutal precision. But when he saw one of the raiders dragging Aelira from their cabin, her violet eyes wide with terror. He felt a surge of fear unlike anything he had known since the war. He tore through the chaos, striking the raider down and pulling her into his arms. She clung to him, sobbing against his chest. "Don't let them take me. Please, father." And something inside Elias finally broke free. "You're safe," he whispered fiercely, holding her close. "I won't let anyone take you. You hear me? You're mine now. My daughter." Aelira froze, then looked up at him, tears streaking her luminous face. "Say it again." "My daughter," Elias said, the words trembling but certain. "I am your father." She buried her face against him, and for the first time in years, Elias felt the hollow emptiness inside him begin to fill. The storm passed. The settlement rebuilt. But in the quiet cabin on the frontier's edge, something greater had been restored. Elias no longer walked as a man broken by the past. He had found his daughter, not by blood, but by choice, by the courage of a child who had dared to ask for love. And he had said yes. Forever after, when she whispered, "Good night, father," he always answered, "Good night, my daughter." The raid left smoke hanging in the air, but Elias no longer cared for the fires or the broken walls. All he could see was Aelira, shaken, her arms wrapped around his neck as if letting go meant she'd vanish into nothing again. "You're safe," he told her, voice rough with both rage and relief. "I won't let anyone take you. You're mine now. My daughter." For a moment, she just stared at him wide-eyed, as though she wasn't sure he meant it. Then the tears came fast, spilling over her glowing cheeks. "Say it again," she whispered. "My daughter," Elias repeated, firmer this time. "I am your father." She broke into sobs, clutching at him with all the strength her small body had. Elias held her tightly, realizing that for the first time in years, he wasn't clinging to ghosts. He wasn't protecting a memory. He was protecting someone real, someone who had chosen him. When dawn came, the settlement was battered but standing. Life would go on. And in the quiet of their little cabin, Aelira curled against him by the fire. She whispered like she always had, "Good night, father." But this time Elias didn't hesitate. He smoothed her silver-marked hair, feeling the strange beauty of her alien warmth against his chest. "Good night, my daughter," he said, his voice steady, filled with a peace he hadn't known since his own family's passing. Aelira smiled as her eyes fluttered closed, her breathing evening out. Elias sat awake a while longer, watching her sleep, knowing the war inside him had finally ended. He had lost once. But now, by choice, by love, he had gained a daughter again, and he would never let her go.